Watches I walk another film review tonight. Tonight I'll be watching a second of the Robocop films, Robocop 2 on 4K. I had a few issues with it the last part, but I still finished it off, of course. It's just a disc. It was actually a bit funny, but so okay, Robocop 2 is a 1990 American science fiction action film directed by Ivan Kershner, directed Empire Strikes Back, written by Frank Miller and Wallen Green. It stars Peter Weller, Nancy Allen, Dan O'Reilly, Belinda Beale, Tom Noonan and Gabrielle Damon. It is the sequel to the 1987 Robocop, the second entry in the Robocop franchise, and the last to feature Weller as Robocop until he returned in Mortal Kombat. Oh, I didn't know it was in Mortal Kombat. And Robocop Rogue Sitter and the other media. Also, the last film Cliff directed before he died. Oh, he died. 2010 died. I know he died, but I didn't realize it was 2010. So the film, 117 minutes, budget of 25-30 million, it made box office of 45.7 million. So it cost a bit more than the other one actually. Okay, and near dystopia's future, Detroit is nearing bankruptcy after failing to pay off its debts to conglomerate how to say conglomerate consumer products OCP. The OCP chairman tends to have the city default on its debt, then force close in its public property so it can move ahead with the radical urban development project Delta City. To rally public's opinion, the project OCP deliberately underfunds the police department to cause rise in crime. A new design drug is sweeping the city. A new designer drug, a nuke, is sweeping the city, backed by a man named Kane. Yeah, Kane's a good character. I like this character. Okay, Robocop remains the duty of his partner Anne Lewis and continues to be paid by memories of his last Alex Murphy. So this film I did enjoy. It's not as good as the first one. The story isn't quite strong, but I really enjoyed it. So that you meet this new character called Kane. This movie, the main villain, of course. Some of the characters in this movie aren't very nice. They're actually not very fun. Some of them have their own agenda, and they're not very. You meet this character called. Let me show. She was on Airwolf, the really attractive. What's her name? Belinda Bauer. She plays Dr. Juliet Fax. She's still alive. Oh, she's 75 now. Yeah, she was on Airwolf, the movie. Because she's got her own agenda. She wants to create her own Robocop. And that's what she does later on in the film. So anyway, the police officers are on strike because of this, like what's happening, and of course this new drug is on. It's this new drug called Nuke, which is on the streets and stuff. And of course the character called King, he's the main villain, of course, and he's a great character. And I like the part where this part in the film where we actually see the return of Robocop in this. At the beginning of the film, you see like someone getting like mugged by this guy, and then he gets attacked by his woman. It's like, and the tech. Anyway, so he gets attacked by his woman. Next bit is like this explosion. Next bit, this guy's going and start to rob the place. It's like crazy, like the guns and stuff. The next minute, one of them's like has got this massive rocket launcher. And he just next minute, it's like a police officer. Everyone's like, "Oh, one of the characters goes, oh, what the hell is it? There's a police car coming over, and the police are on strike." Next minute, turns out, of course, you know it's Robocop. Of course, he's the only police uh, officer outside actually on duty. Only Robocop, of course, he doesn't go on strike. So anyway, one of the characters gets a weapon and blows it up, and so that's a cool scene actually, where they blow the vehicle up and it's like overkill. And next minute, the car flips, blows up twice, and the shootout. The next minute, Robocop steps out, and it's like, oh my god, that scene was so cool. That is a cool scene to introduce Robocop again. Especially, it looks a bit different. His blue is like, I actually like this design of Robocop. It's like, it looks a bit more cleaner and more, I don't know, it looks cool. I liked it with the first film, but I like this design. It looks really cool. This film's got some really good practical effects, and no, like stop motion effects, and I like the effects of the film. And the director who does this, who directed Empire Strikes Back, does a really good job. There's a part in the film where it turns out he's, watching his wife, and she's like a little bit not liking the him turn up all the time, and it's like, and the part where he's got his like helmet off or something, and she turns up at the police station where where he sits down and stuff, and got that cage ride and stuff on, and she turns up there, and it's kind of like, and then it says some stuff to her, and it's like, and she's kind of like, touches his face, it makes the she touches his face, and she's like, this is what they've done to me, so he's telling her to just that's the issue with that film. They never played on that story later on. They just kind of had that one scene, and that was it. That was it, gone. That's the storyline, which I think was a bit of a shame. They could have had more of that scene later on, maybe right then, which turns up. You meet the character called Kane, and he gets like, and there's a part of the film where I like this part of the film where that one of the police officers actually turns out to be taking that nuke stuff, and he's anyways, he ends up getting caught. They're in this like arcade place, and he ends up getting caught, and he ends up telling Robocop where the arcade and stuff. So Robocop goes to this like factory place. I can't remember what it's called now. It's like, and and it turns out to be a trap. They seem to know that he's actually on his way there somehow. So it ends up, but anyway, I like the clever part where he goes in, but it turns out to be he's not in the car. He's actually outside the car. It's like they blow the car up, and he's like, so anyway, but these guys seem to be one step ahead every time. So they end up going in, and it's got this. Actually, there's a kid in the group. I've seen him before. He's been in Star Trek, and sometimes they come back as though that was cool. And that's a good film actually. It's an underrated horror film that was. Sometimes they come back, which is good. So he's a part of that group, and he's got a certain attitude upon that, guys. But especially with the part where there's a part in the film where I'll come back to the scene after. There's a part in the I'll come to the scene afterwards. Let's go back to the part where he actually introduces Kane. He goes into this like Robocop ends up at this place where they're making all this like drugs, the nuke and stuff. And I like the part where you see Kane there. You see introduces his character. And you think, oh, look, he's the main like villain in this, but and the scene where I thought was pretty cool is where the villain's got the baby around, the Robocop's like just shoots him in there. Like that scene was pretty cool. Where the film's got some really good shootout scenes which I liked. He kind of does this kind of like shooting like that. It's pretty cool actually. Where he shoots in this film, I really liked it. So let's go back to the part where the trap where they end up getting the upper hand with Robocop and dismantle him. That was pretty crazy though. They actually dismantle his whole body, so they just drop it outside the police station, which is pretty cool. That was that for. It's pretty cool. And then later on in the film, they end up bloody building his body back up, like fixing him. Of course, then the woman in it, Dr. Julia Fax, she ends up bloody reprogrammed, so he's got all these like directives, so he's got like over 200 directives. They actually give him over 200 directives, maybe 300. Which is crazy, and he starts acting all kind of like nice and stuff, and go to school and don't behave yourself and stuff like like don't smoke, and that scene was. It has got some funny moments in the film which I liked. the film isn't as because the first one had a certain gritty, dark film to it, but this one's kind of more, slightly more comedy-ish. Especially the commercials in it, which are pretty cool. It's got the guy from Smallville in it. You know Lex's dad. He's in it. He's in one of the commercials, which is what's his name, Glover. Which this is the 1990s film, so it looks quite young on this too. Commercials are pretty good though. The car freaking theft freaking commercial was pretty interesting. So anyway, and this scene was quite dark. Even the little kid was kind of like, "Oh Jesus Christ, what the hell?" And the young woman. There's a part of the film where the copper and he gets taken into this building, man. And next minute they kill him. It's like, and the girl actually thought he was just trying to scare him. Next minute they end up cutting him and stuff like and killing him. I like the part where he actually uses because Finger gives him an idea. Then they can get rid of eyes if he gets electrocuted and stuff. Get rid of his directors and stuff. So he ends up electrocute himself. And of course, I like that scene. I think that was really well done because I think that's the only way he could get rid of all that is by freaking rebooting his system to his normal self. So then he ends up going to this facility. Biggest shoot. I like the shootout in this film where they end up finding where Kane is, and it's got this like. And that scene was pretty cool where he's doing all his shooting like that. He's taking out. He's back to his normal self, taking out all the bad guys. And of course, Kane escapes. And I like the chasing it where Kane's like in this like vehicle, right? And Robocop's like gets hit by the vehicle, gets hit. And the next minute it's like a chase. It's like a Robocop's in the front of the vehicle, and the next minute he's crashing his vehicle, into these buildings and stuff. And that was it. That scene was pretty cool. Where he ends up getting on a motorcycle, which I liked. And he ends up taking out Kane by just crashing himself through the window. I thought it was freaking great. That scene was really good actually. Takes him out, of course. Then he ends up in hospital, still alive, of course. Dr. Fax ends up turning off his life support machine. And then she ends up creating her own cyborg, and it's like, that's not a good idea. Do not. Then you meet this mayor, in it. It's quite loud actually, this guy. So ends up like making a deal with the killing that young woman. They end up at this facility place, and of course to Dr. Fax, she ends up sending the cyborg to there, and of course Finger's character, what's his name, the old man guy, he actually says there's no witnesses. Then I kind of went, that's kind of strange. His character's not very nice in this stuff. And I mean, I'm not saying he was like a saint in the first one, but and this is just like, no witnesses. So he wants everyone just, not to. So I like that scene was pretty cool when Kane turns up at that and takes everyone. And the effects in this film are pretty good for the year 1990. And I like especially when he opens that thing and everyone's just like, what the hell is that? The kill line is pretty cool actually. The shootout. Actually, this film has still got some really good stop motion effects in this. I really liked it. I like Kane's character. He's such a great villain. So yeah, the shootout. So one of the characters, the mayor starts. He suddenly kills everyone. Kills the. I should say unalive everyone. That's a stupid word, of course. So some of the characters get killed, and then the kid almost escapes, and he gets hit by. Then he ends up getting hit. Robocop shows up. No, one of the mayor ends up escaping through his like slide from hell course, went straight in the river, and then Robocop ends up turning up. And the chairman in this film, the old man, so there's like a ceremony at the right at the end of the film where it unveils like a future of Delta City, and of course it shows the new Robocop. And of course, I like the part where he reveals it's like what the city's gonna look like. It's like the next bit, this big freaking Robocop 2 pops. These psychotic Kane Robocop 2. Next bit, the mayor's like sitting there going, "Oh shit, can't get away from this guy." And I like the battle between Robocop 2 or Kane, whatever you could call him. And that battle was pretty cool. I liked it. I like that part. Good effects, and especially the part was in the elevator, just shoots the thing and just goes flying up. That's pretty cool. Like I said, the film's got some really good effects. The director does a really good job of this. I think he did a good job. It's not the best one. It's not as good as the first one, but I still enjoyed it. Yeah, the battle between Robocop and Kane, or Robocop 1 versus Robocop 2. Very cool. Especially with the part where he uses that drug stuff to actually distract him. Next bit, Robocop jumps on top of him and just takes out his brain and just smashes it like anything. That's so cool. And if you play Robocop and Rogue City, there's a spoiler of course, it shows up in this, the Robocop 2. It's pretty cool actually. I was like, oh shit. So cool I was. It's a shame that was Peter Weller's last Robocop, but after when they did this, after when you watch the third one, you kind of get it. Yes, it kind of makes sense. But yeah, good effects, good characters, and yeah, I like the characters in this. But I like the Juliet Fax woman. She has great legs. She's a very attractive woman. I liked her on Airwolf. She was good in that. So yeah, I didn't realise until after it was the same woman. I kind of went. She was kind of. Oh, of course it's on Blue Airwolf. I've never seen Airwolf. It's a good series. It's the first film they did. Did the film, then they did the series. So yeah, it was really good though. I really enjoyed it. Good film, Robocop 2. I did like it. It's got some good action scenes, good visual effects, good practical effects. So okay, pros and cons. Pros first. Really good effects, good practical effects, and all those kind of effects. Good villain in it, Kane. Really like that. Good, decent performance from the cast. Good performances, of course. Good returning characters. Good performances. Good special effects. Good music. The music's a bit different too. Not the I like the music in the first one, but the music in this I quite like too. Still sounds like Robocop, but it doesn't have the dun 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 dun. It has a different. To be honest, I didn't really notice until I watched it. The music's actually different in this. I didn't really take it notice, to be honest, but I do remember the music in this, but I didn't take too much notice. So yeah, good introduction to Robocop anyway. The end of the part was really a satisfying ending to this film, so I really enjoyed it. Good music, good action, good visual effects, good performance, and yeah, I liked it. What I didn't like about it, they didn't finish off the storyline with his wife and him. Robocop and his wife, they kind of just went, oh, that's it, she's gone. That was it. Kind of went, really? They could have had that part right at the end where his wife shows up. Apart from that, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I do like Robocop 2. It's a good movie with a good cast and good characters in it. So Robocop 2 gets a 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed it. Really good film, and yeah. And the director does a good job still. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for a Robocop 2. Good movie still. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, before I go off, remember to subscribe to my channel. Take care, enjoy my video, and hopefully you'll see me soon, and I'll see you soon. And dead or alive, you come with me. And take care, and bye for now. Thank you much.